Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This is episode 8F, 80F, however you pronounce it. It's the 145th episode. This is the last of the letters for the 80s. Reminder, nothing on this show is financial advice. Stay tuned. Also, after all the updates, we will have a full AMA. That is for every question answered up to the hour, I think, and that follows rules and everything else. This week, first update, number go down is GDP and the economy, retracting 1.4%, at least as reported. It's probably more than that, right? And all of the great things that are going to come ahead with that, food riots and everything else on their way. And then number go up would be leaks and the fact that I don't know, we won't go into all the details of it, but it is interesting that blockchain and Dragonchain would have solutions to improve this pattern, and that could prevent or at least allow someone to track the leak, and also potentially do some more interesting things on the inside when they are trading notes as to their votes without, maybe even exposing what their vote is. They could keep a blind vote and yet know what the reasonable outcome is. But anyway, good stuff. Who knows? I'm sure lots of negative things to come from that. Let's see your next Dragonchain updates. So in case you missed it, we have reposted a blog on blockchain-based solutions for advertising analytics. This had been a pretty big subject maybe a year ago, and it still is extremely important because there's so much spam and fake, click stuff, click farms and everything else that drive those economies. And all that it would take is for one of these major advertising networks to actually put all of their metrics, all their, therefore pull their analytics from on-chain transactions, provided they have a scalable enough blockchain, of course, to provide like a proof of click, and even, what information is captured to provide some evidence of a human behind that click, that they could be putting that on chain. They could be incentivizing the proper use of the network. They could be doing a lot of things that they aren't doing. And this article covers some of those. It's definitely worth reading and sharing. Next, we have a new capability brief. So short one-pager documents of various Dragonchain capabilities, probably focused on consulting and development services. So go and share this latest, and the link will be in the description down below if you're on YouTube or wherever else. Let's see here. last update for Dragonchain. Oh, second to last update for Dragonchain. Watch for scams. There was a Telegram and Twitter scam going around. So do watch for those and see. You always know if we're going to ever announce anything of any importance, it'll be somehow prepared. It'll either be on chain first or it will be signed by an address that's known to be Dragonchain. So, just don't believe any of the ridiculous things that you see there. Anyway, next we have a, I guess it was at least one of the first clips was released for my appearance on the Very DAO podcast, or I don't know what you call it, but it was essentially a show which is focused on Veritasium, I believe. And they released a clip today. The whole conversation airs this coming Saturday. We aren't sure of the time yet, but we will post it on Den. We will tweet it. We will do, push it out. It was actually a really good conversation. They are very smart guys and some very good information. And they were looking. Reggie was very much looking at a lot of the risks associated with DAOs. So it's very, very important and very interesting to us. And do go watch that. There was a lot of really good fundamental info shared back and forth there. And I hope we might be going back for another session because they didn't get in that amount of time to cover one of the major subjects they wanted to cover as well. So anyway, go watch it, go share it. It was good stuff. So we really appreciated that they invited us on. Now we'll go to Den.Social updates. So the first is that the web version 2.0.111 is now in production, which provides a few things throughout, but the biggest thing is that inline reply and post cards are showing now within the chat. So you could hang out, let's say, in the cryptocurrency chat, talk with people there as you might on Telegram or Discord or whatever. And when new posts or new replies, essentially any new content comes into that layer, it will appear in line. So you'll see, you'll be the first to see it. It'll be, live update quick. And that's powerful. Even if, if you're an evaluator or something else. And it's super interesting because it was an experiment that we've known we wanted to do for quite a while, which is essentially a combination. This is from the beginning where this was envisioned, that a combination of the streaming style, Telegram, Slack, Discord style communications tied together with the threaded style from Reddit, where those content posts will come over into the chat directly. Now, we are looking for ideas on restyling it because they are essentially the same with a tiny few tweaks, the same styling that you see in the main feed. And so I think we want to collapse them, make them a little more compact. So, if you have any ideas there, let us know. I'm thinking also maybe a different background so you could differentiate. Okay, that's a chat. This is me saying something. That's a reply from some thread on some post somewhere. So check that out. Really good stuff. Next update, LCP, the May 2022 LCP proposal phase has now begun as of this morning. We did have a DAO vote to change the LCP contest rules this month, and therefore the winners this month will be the number 1 layer proposal as ranked by unique voter, the number 3 layer proposal as ranked by lore committed, and the number 5 layer proposal as ranked by lore committed. If there's any overlap, I wouldn't expect any, but if there is any overlap, it is only those 3 that will be created. So this contest, the LCP, will run for 1 week. Go in there and, it's not the contest itself. The proposal phase will run for 1 week, and make sure that your proposal isn't duplicated. Review what's up there already, especially if there might be some overlap, but at least think about, is the overlap warranted? Do you need another one, or should you go in and ask to maybe change something in the original, the proposal that's close to what you want to see? Anyway, that'll run for 1 week. Then next week we'll start the commit phase, and it'll be fun again. We've had over 150 million, I think, NFTs created through this process. It's successful. It works. It's scalable. It's pretty amazing. So thanks for taking part, and do your best there. Let's see here. Next, tune in tomorrow for Coffee with Den at 900 Eastern and 600 Pacific US time. And the DenDAO meeting, the live call, is this Thursday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. Do look for the post in the DenDAO layer for the agenda, because you can request to add items to the agenda, or to make sure we get something covered, because there's not a, generally not a hard stop. So if we had to go longer than an hour, we could. It's a meeting. And you're welcome. Will be a link in there that you would be welcome to join live with or without a camera to cover anything regarding DenDAO, governance, features, priorities, questions, ideas. So come in there and share what you can. It would be helpful. It's a meeting. It's not a show. Don't be shy. That's all the Den updates. So now we go to World Blockchain Roundtable update. Episode 50 is on Thursday. The topic will be history of cryptography, blockchain, and metaverse in pop culture. So that should be interesting. There's already a good bunch. It seems to be focused more on entertainment right now. There's some pretty good questions in there on books and interesting related books related to the topic. So also watch and share last week's episode on the rise and fall of projects post FUD and attacks. Currently has over 1,300 views, and the more views it gets in its first week, the more lot all participants will get. So anyway, watch World Blockchain Roundtable this week, 3 p.m. UTC. Next, we'll do the full AMA right after this.
Now, more than ever, our data is at risk. Our supply chains are in jeopardy. Our systems are broken, and businesses feel powerless. Dragonchain gives you a different way, a safer way, a better way, and you have power over your data. Dragonchain gives you proof in an untrusted world. Build now at Dragonchain.com, America's blockchain.
All right, so we go to the AMA thread, refresh it. And what is the first question? Kratos, God of Boy. Anyway, we can get a is there any way we can get a Dragon USDT pair on KuCoin, since Gate.io banned all of their US users? I want to put limit orders in, but not using Ethereum or Bitcoin because of volatility. It makes very good sense. I have no control over that, of course. Gosh, I don't even know. I don't know how we are disallowed by our own legal guidance from soliciting for listings on exchange and things like that. And that's, it's long-standing guidance that we followed from the beginning. So if someone comes and asks us, we can help, but really, there's not much we can do to help on that other than answering a question about the contract, maybe. But there is Beaksy. I don't know, and I know they have at least a stable coin pair, if I remember right. I don't know what the volume looks like there. Of course, but it is where you put it, I guess, and that may or may not make sense to you. But so that's probably the best I can do for an answer. I'm sure there are much better answers than that. I mean, maybe even DEX-based liquidity, and there is, by the way, I guess something related to this that might make some sense in this context is that DIN, I believe, has plans to add Dragon liquidity to its lore farming, and that might be something valuable that you might even have input on if you would, maybe campaign for a bigger bucket there or something else would make sense. But essentially, that's at least some incentive to providing a V3 liquidity pool on Uniswap. So anyway, if that's at all of any interest, ping us and we'll do whatever we can to help out there. Anyway, next, Wafty Cranker. Is there any chance of getting a Matter and Dragon price ticker on the app? Now, I'm going to answer these in line or two, right? So the first, so the answer to that, yes. And when I say ticker, I don't know about a ticker, price ticker itself, but I do say we already have a vote through DINDAO. In fact, it was the very first vote that was passed that hasn't been implemented because it wasn't high enough priority with some of the things going on. But it's probably relatively simple to implement, and that is to make it possible to view your Matter and your lore and maybe the other tokens. Well, that might be it, right? I don't know if we do Dragon or not, but that you could view them in dollar value based upon current, depending upon what our source is. But it would essentially be just for informational purposes alone. That it would probably just be a nightly snapshot, so people have a somewhat of an understanding or a better feel for how much money's sitting there. And a link to a decent DEX to trade it on. Now, when you say decent DEX, I don't know how you're going to judge that, but there are already links in the wallet. I do believe it might be the bottom to directly go to the contract address. Yeah, and there's a buy button, so you can go straight to. I believe it takes you Uniswap V3. You can also get it on V2. So there is already there, and it's Uniswap. So fees are probably high. Maybe you could do wrapped Matter on some pool in Solana to reduce fees or something. I have not talked to anyone about that, so I don't know what's reasonable to consider there. But if you're looking for a solution, that might make sense. I really struggle with where to find it as Matter. Is also there's another MTR acronym somewhere. There's another DRGN acronym. There's that stuff happens. You can't use the acronym by itself, of course, but use that link. It has the contract address if you want to make sure that it's the right token contract, number one at the bottom, and number two, that buy button will link you to the appropriate, at least one of the appropriate liquidity pools on Uniswap. Just a link. You can do what you want with it. Okay, so we'll go to next. Trogdor. Security Solutions Tech lists Aqued as a channel partner and states PKPA will be the new standard for encryption tech. We are working with NIST. It also states they are a channel partner for polymorphic encryption with blockchain tech offered by the Dragon company. Dragonchain is an entirely new approach to the encryption issue. The Aqued and Dragonchain GSA schedule contract numbers are the same. Can you speak of the implications of this? What they're trying to accomplish? It seems like it could be a really effing big deal. Thanks. So essentially, there are multiple, and we've talked about this before, to some level, but this is a really good. So thanks for putting this in here. This is a really good way to describe it. That these groups are already networked in. They already have GSA schedule contracts. They already have infrastructure to sell technology, and in particular, in this case, both the polymorphic encryption tech and the blockchain tech, and the combination of the two. And that is a very unique angle. And none of these things happens overnight. I in a prior company, we had a GSA contract that took us a long time to put in place, and it took longer to see any benefit from it. So it's not something you should ever expect overnight. But being as it is, as you say, a big deal, because we're the only ones with this combination of tech that is, how do I say, it's integrated at its core. It's not like a bolt-on solution, and it's very flexible. That if you need to apply the encryption in some way that the team has not anticipated, that we have not said, oh, I bet someone will want X, it can be done. That we can apply it in transit, as storage. We can apply it local. We can apply it as signing mechanisms. We can do a whole bunch of very interesting things with it, and it's, I don't know. Hopefully, it will be a big effing deal, but it's on its way. We have the right people there. They know what they're doing, and they know. More importantly, I think they know the business and the issues that are important and that need to be solved. So that's the angle on it, and that's what we're doing with them on it. And there's a lot going on that I don't even know all about, because there are too many things. And as they pop up for priorities, or for some time related day, some deadline or something, that's when I usually become aware of them. So anyway, next, GDen. Do you believe that Dragonchain has any real competition? Who's the closest competitor in your opinion? So they always say, for startups, you can't say that you don't have any competition, because then the market's not real. And it's like, I do say, at fundamentals, we definitely do have competition. Typically, you would probably cite everything from Hyperledger, because it is a private blockchain, and yes, Dragonchain is better in many ways, more flexible, more powerful for one, because it ties a lot of the public side in. You could say we're competing with Ethereum, although they are definitely focused on an entirely different angle than we are. So we're not in competition. So it's kind of an interesting thing, because what I would prefer to see it as is Dragonchain being interoperable with all of these other chains, because they are typically solving something that is very specific, some niche value. Now, some of them aren't. Some of them are just literal copies of each other, or direct code forks of Ethereum, things like that. And yet sometimes they're focused on, we want to be Ethereum, but with lower fees, or with a smaller network, or with maybe a little worse uptime or something like that. But essentially, that's kind of how I look at it, is we have interoperability with all of them. I mean, you could also say that we have competitors in the data in market, where various databases do things that we probably do better, and or that we probably do with the angle on proof, right? Maybe it's not better, but or better for some areas. But at the great thing about that is we have, and we can, and we will integrate those databases when a customer needs that functionality. It's it's a very interesting thing, because our angle on it is it's all software, and we want to provide this network and these capabilities, and essentially a marketplace for people to leverage this proof in doing the things they're already doing. So it's kind of a cool thing, because in the end, when it finally clicks, and people get it, they quickly realize that they can apply the behavioral components, or the automation between these systems, with the proof and the ability to go back and know that they're looking at good data. So there's a bunch there. And I don't know. I mean, closest competitor of those, I don't know. I mean, I could say what the industry would think, but I think it's usually BS. So I don't know. Closest competitor, it depends on what context you're looking at, right? If you're talking about storage, I could give you a couple of databases. If you're talking about pure blockchain, then yeah, it would be Hyperledger or Ethereum. But you know, again, I think across the board with blockchain, still to this day, there might be some, but I think most of them are by and large focused entirely on financials applications. They're not, which is really, I think, a failure in creativity maybe, but it's surprising to me still that that's everything is about finances. So who knows? Anyway, next. So great question. Thanks. Crypto Curious. Fidelity has added Bitcoin to their 401k. Skybridge Capital has added options for Bitcoin in their 401k. Today, BlackRock is making a Bitcoin ETF. Do you feel like retail suppression is happening while the big players are sneaking into the industry? Probably. Who knows? I mean, you think there's trillions of dollars to be had. I would guess somebody's doing something to try to hedge that. The odd thing, I mean, you could look at China's unban cycle years ago. You can look at the announcements from the central bank of what, London, UK, whatever their central bank is called, where they announced they were going to use crypto, and then 6 months later or 3 months later, they would always say, "Oh, that's not true," and then they would do it again the next year. And you always have to wonder, somebody's getting that stuff out, or getting someone to write about that in order to pump and dump Bitcoin. Back then, especially, you know, Bitcoin was not as big as it is now, so it was easier for them to affect it. So I don't know. I imagine so. It seemed that, I guess the thing that's crazy to me, the 401ks, I think, could be a big thing if they're real. The problem is, you know, would you trust Skybridge Capital, which I don't know anything about, or Fidelity, which I don't, I let's just say I don't love. And would you trust them to not do, you know, fractional math on what they're holding? I mean, here's the thing: the test for the crypto world, and unfortunately, I don't think this will happen, but the test for the crypto world should be, if you want us to praise your adding Bitcoin to a 401k, or adding some other crypto to some plan, which is in a traditional markets, why don't you put a proof of reserves, you know, post up, you know, every week, every day, every month, whatever it is? You could automate that. You could even hold a lot of the Bitcoin value in cold storage and manually do it once every couple of weeks or month. And that would at least be reasonable, so people would know, okay, they say that they have well, I don't know, 250 billion in Bitcoin. Why don't they prove it? Because otherwise I would assume they're just selling you paper, but who knows? Because if it is held in, back to my original point, if it is held in real crypto, I would expect that would affect the price pretty radically. ETFs, I don't know enough about, frankly, but I think that you know, maybe they would tend to reduce volatility, and I don't know. It's much the same thing if it's paper or not. I think that it could be used, and maybe used to manipulate the market whenever they want. But you know, I don't know. Anytime there's a ton of big money like that coming in, you have to wonder. And all of the weirdness. This is the primary to the number go up problem, that people want the traditional side to come in instead of just saying, wouldn't you rather just have all of the hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that would come in through a 401k? Wouldn't you rather people actually learn about and just directly buy crypto with that money. Wouldn't that be a much better case? They would have more flexibility. They would have more control. They would have less risk of it just being paper and not real Bitcoin. And again, you know, your keys, your coins, in this case, more so than with an exchange, I think. You know, I would probably trust a crypto exchange, frankly, before I would trust a traditional institution at times like this, right? Like right now with the crazy stuff going on in the world, I think I would trust actually holding the keys to that if the internet goes out for a month, when you come back, your Bitcoin's still there. So that's just where I'm at anyway. So anyway, great questions. And that's all of them. And it's only 8:34. So that's pretty good. All right. So thanks a bunch. See you all next week. Let's see here. I'm going to go up and I think there's a couple of things to close out with. This month, mugs 2022. Yes. So I did. This is the month for mugs. Shutting up. And everything else, 10%, all mugs, all month. Hopefully we'll get some more added. We have some ideas for some. We just haven't had time. We've been doing other things, but there's a bunch of things. Oh, see, I need to get the Bitcoin one. I need to get the coffee one. Yeah, because that logo is awesome. At Denizen, I can't remember the name. We need to credit them. I'm sure Dave has, but it's a great logo. And that's it. So go buy some mugs. I need to buy some more, but if anybody has a source, I want some that have black or other color backgrounds, but our supplier only has white, so we can print a band. But anyway, and in closing, watch Super Happy Dragon Lucky next week, same time. Follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row. Like, comment, share, everything else. We might need a World Blockchain Roundtable social. Maybe not. Maybe we should keep that on Dragonchain. I don't know. Either way. Have fun. See you next week.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.